There were several questions about the big storm that hit the East Coast. No, I'm not talking about the snowstorm in New York. I'm talking about her, Stormy Daniels, who popped back up again yesterday when her attorney filed a lawsuit against the president saying that he had not signed the non-disclosure agreement. Therefore, the non-disclosure agreement, which would ban her from talking about her alleged affair with Donald Trump, that agreement was therefore invalid because he hadn't signed it. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders surprised at you, I'm sure, and everybody else by saying, oh, this was settled under arbitration already.
As I outlined earlier, that this case had already been won in arbitration, and that there was no knowledge of any payments from the president, and he's denied all of these allegations.
We had never heard of arbitration before, right? All we had heard was she made this charge, he denied it, and his attorney, Gary Cohen, out of the goodness of
Michael Cohen.
Michael Cohen, sorry. Yes, right. Out of the goodness of his heart, paid her $130,000.
So the evolution of this story has been really incredible. Really first, if we really want to go...
And it broke in the Wall Street Journal.
Yes, but if we really want to go all the way back, because the Wall Street Journal has been all over the Trump pornography beat. And there was another porn star, right? And she basically, it seemed as if the National Enquirer bought her story. They did a follow-up on this where the National Enquirer, the owner is very close to Donald Trump. It's been a very pro-Trump rag. It's where the crazy Ted Cruz JFK conspiracies ran. It's had a bunch of puffy profiles of Trump and his family and editorials. And they supposedly had this policy of catch and kill, where basically this porn star was alleging she had an affair with Trump. They bought the rights to it just to never run it ever. Oh. Huh. So that actually started to come out before Stormy. Then Stormy came out. When Stormy's story initially came out, it was fully denied by Trump, by Cohen, who was alleged to have made this payment, vehemently denied. And then more and more started to dribble out. She had initially actually told the story already. So, this has got to be like some of the worst lawyering in history, because this payment was made to hush her after her story was out in 2011 in In Touch magazine. Now, I don't know how the people over at Bauer Publishing made it through the presidential campaign without remembering this was in their archives.
Yeah,
I bought a copy on eBay. It's a really wonderful pop cultural artifact, because the cover is a little blurb of Trump. Then you have the Kim Kardashian-Chris Humphries marriage, which I think lasted like 2 Scaramucci's. I'm not entirely sure. And then you have Real Housewives of New Jersey star Teresa Giudice. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. My wife would kill me if I wasn't. But so this was 2011 pop culture history, and she detailed the affair in there, which allegedly occurred at a Lake Tahoe celebrity golf tournament in 2006, where they were photographed together. So, that comes out fully denied. Then, subsequently, Michael Cohen admits, yeah, I made the payment, but basically implies that he did it on his own. I spoke to him about this, and he said, I will always defend Mr. Trump. That was his quote. Whether it was, and this is a guy who is fiercely loyal. He is Trump's bulldog, whatever his legal skills may or may not be.
Yeah.
And, I was at the White House one time for a pool spray as Trump was walking to Marine One. And I said to him, which I think was really kind of remains the key question, why did your attorney pay this porn star? Right? He totally ignored it. And then another reporter said, did you have sex with a porn star? Really cutting to the chase. He ignored that too. Then the Wall Street Journal, they started to come out with all the details. Here's the Delaware shell company Cohen used. The bank flagged Cohen's transactions. Yeah. Meanwhile, Stormy was sort of playing coy about this whole thing while also capitalizing it and doing appearances at strip clubs in Long Island and elsewhere where she gave away MAGA hats. Yeah. But never...
what was the tour called?
Make America horny
again. That's Make America horny again.
Did we ever stop? But she was playing coy this whole time. She wasn't directly, violating this horribly flawed non-disclosure agreement. Now she has a lawyer, and her lawyer is saying that she's suing him to get out of this because this agreement was void because he never personally signed it. Now, I don't think there's any legal truth to that argument, but it does seem like she wants to sell a book. These documents, these court documents, have hinted that she may have photos or text
But if Donald
messages.
Trump had not signed the agreement, why isn't it invalid?
Third parties sign agreements all the time, and the agreement was about Donald Trump, and she took that money. So if you think you made, legally, I've talked to experts about this. Legally, if you make a flawed deal or take shady money, your standing in court is a lot worse. But she accepted this contract, albeit with a third party.
Right.
But I think from her end, right? Let's all remember the O.J. Simpson "If I Did It" book. I think we're going to see the video interview of that soon. I'm really hyped. But we're in the celebrity trash world. This is my favorite.
Right.
She signed on this woman, Gina Rodriguez, who your listeners probably don't remember this, but she repped Octomom. She reps every crazy bottom feeder. And so for Stormy, even if she doesn't fully get out from under this non-compete, even if she doesn't get to release whatever texts or photos she has or does not have, what she's doing is getting her name out. She's hinting that she has this stuff. You'll notice in her public appearances, she's stressed that she has a book she wants to sell. So she's enlarging her persona, getting in the consciousness. And I think we're sort of seeing her do the presidential affair version of "If I Did It," where she's getting out there as someone who allegedly, hypothetically, may or may not have had the affair.
I'll tell you, it reminds me of somebody who got 5 years out of self-promotion, out of pushing a theory that Barack Obama was not born in the United States.
That's never going to go anywhere, though, right?
I mean, seriously.
Are you suggesting that Stormy and Trump are the perfect match?
I just have to say, right?
I'm suggesting that she's as great a self-promoter as, well, she's not as great, but she's following his lead, if you will, in self-promotion. She's good at it.
I wouldn't be shocked if in, 2 years we see Stormy working with Roger Stone running for president. You know what I mean?
She was going to run. She was going to run for senator in Louisiana. Remember that? She was going to run for office in Louisiana
against David Vitter. Yeah, so she knows this playbook.
That's the same woman.
Yeah. And yeah.
But it seems that the White House just can't shake it, right?
Well,
Sarah Huckabee Sanders did not help shake it yesterday. She just opened up new avenues of question.
It's really incredible because this is sort of the first own goal we've seen from Sarah Sanders. She has been Teflon in terms of not answering stuff. I mean, and let's not give her too much credit here. She's shortened the briefings down to 10 minutes each. Her deflection strategy is typically, "I'll get back to you," not getting back to you, or saying, "I don't know," and then continuing to say she hasn't asked the president about the answers.
Or referring you to somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, so there's not some genius 3D chess going on, but she hasn't had a screw up yet. Whereas, God bless him, there were own goals in the White House for a long time in the first 6 months. But this is the first one where she maybe gave us some unintentional negative info that we didn't have. But, I get that. I mean, think about the pressure this White House is under. 19 women have made accusations about this president's sexual behavior. Yeah. This is the one where she's splashy enough. She is YOLO enough, if I may. And, she's got documents and stuff. She's got these photos.
And she's not alleging sexual assault, right? She's admitting it was all consensual. She just alleged.
She just wants to air it out, and so this is probably the hardest one for them to shake.